Hello and welcome to USA Weekly News Plus, where we try to make sense of this chaotic mess we call news. I'm Avery Sunday, and frankly, I'm amazed we still have a news cycle after this week. Between hurricanes with names that sound like rejected Bond villains and Elon Musk finally finding someone brave enough to let him put a computer in their brain, it's been a lot. So, buckle up, dear viewers, because we're diving headfirst into the top 10 news stories that somehow managed to be even more unbelievable than whatever the hell happened last week. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment, because apparently that's how we're choosing the next president. And look, I know what you're thinking, Avery, there's no way this week could be wild, but trust me, it is. We've got everything from natural disasters that would make Noah consider building a second ark to economic indicators that are about as stable as a newborn giraffe on roller skates. So grab your beverage of choice, settle in, and let's try to unpack this dumpster fire of a week, shall we? Hurricane Idalia threw a massive tantrum across the southeastern United States. Wind speeds that would make a Formula One driver jealous, and enough rain to make Noah start building that second ark. Florida, Georgia, and the Carolinas all felt Idalia's wrath. Millions were left without power. Federal aid is trickling in, and insurance companies are denying claims. The long-term effects are still unfolding, and this is just the beginning of hurricane season. Labor Day weekend, that magical time when Americans celebrate the achievements of the labor movement by working even harder to cram themselves onto airplanes and into overcrowded national parks. That's right, folks, it was a travel surge of epic proportions, the likes of which haven't been seen since the great cheetah dust shortage of '22. Air travel saw a particular spike, with airlines reporting more passengers than a clown car convention. And let me tell you, the scenes at airports across the country were truly a sight to behold. Imagine, if you will, the seventh circle of hell, but with more crying babies and overpriced snack bars. Popular destinations were jam-packed like a sardine tin filled with even more sardines. Beaches were more crowded than a Walmart on Black Friday, and national parks looked like the parking lot of a Grateful Dead concert, but with less tie-dye and more cargo shorts. And of course, none of this chaos came cheap. Gas prices, like a toddler on a sugar rush, were up, and hotel occupancy rates were higher than Snoop Dogg at a Cypress Hill concert. But hey, at least everyone got to spend their hard-earned money on the fleeting joy of pretending they weren't going back to work on Tuesday. Because nothing says relaxation like spending your entire vacation stuck in traffic, am I right? All right, everyone, remember that brief shining moment when you didn't have to worry about student loan payments? Yeah, well, like a bad burrito, that feeling is back to haunt us. After a 3-year pause, those pesky federal student loan repayments are rearing their ugly heads again. That's right, millions of Americans are now staring down the barrel of monthly bills they might have momentarily forgotten about, like that gym membership you swore you'd use. The government is offering some new repayment plans, but let's be honest, navigating these options can feel like trying to decipher ancient Sanskrit while juggling chainsaws. And don't even get me started on the interest, which is just itching to pile back on like unwanted pounds after a holiday feast. This whole situation has financial strain written all over it, and not in the fun, let's get another credit card kind of way. Of course, this being America, the whole thing is mired in a delightful political quagmire. Some folks are calling for more loan forgiveness, others are clutching their bootstraps so tight they're cutting off circulation. It's a mess, is what I'm saying. A big, expensive, soul-crushing mess. Folks, it seems COVID is like that guest who just won't leave even after you've started hiding the good snacks. Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the metaphorical water, we've got new vaccine rollouts happening. Yes, you heard that right. New boosters are here, specifically designed to tackle the latest COVID variants, with names more confusing than a Christopher Nolan film. It's like the virus went to a costume party dressed as itself, but slightly different. Now you'd think, after all this time, people would be lining up for these new jabs like they were concert tickets to see, well, literally anyone who isn't Nickelback. But alas, vaccine hesitancy is still a thing. Some folks are hesitant about the new shots, some are still clinging to conspiracy theories, and some are just plain exhausted. And who can blame them? We've been dealing with this pandemic longer than some TikTok trends last. But the reality is COVID is still impacting everything from our health to the economy, so, maybe just get the damn booster. And now, for a segment we like to call Everything is Awful and My Wallet is Crying. That's right, folks, we're talking about inflation. Remember when you could buy a dozen eggs without needing a small loan? Those were the days. From grocery store shelves to the housing market, it seems like everything is more expensive than a luxury cruise with Jeff Bezos. Want to buy a house? Get ready to face a bidding war against a tech bro with more money than sense. Need groceries? Be prepared to remortgage your soul for a gallon of milk. The Federal Reserve is trying to wrestle this inflation beast into submission, but it's a bit like trying to catch a greased piglet riding a unicycle. They keep raising interest rates, hoping it'll do, but mostly it just seems to be making everyone's credit card bills more terrifying. And how are consumers reacting to all this, you ask? Well, imagine a raccoon trapped in a dumpster fire. That's pretty much the vibe. Consumer confidence is about as high as my expectations for a Michael Bay film, dismally low. All right, sports fans, buckle up, because the NFL is back, and just like every year, it's a delightful mix of adrenaline-pumping action and enough melodrama to make a soap opera blush. We're talking last-minute Hail Marys coaches, losing their minds on the sidelines, and enough fantasy football trash talk to fuel 1,000 rivalries. And let's be honest, whether you're a die-hard fan who can recite the entire history of the NFL, or you just enjoy the excuse to eat nachos on a Sunday afternoon, there's something undeniably captivating about the return of professional football. Of course, we can't forget about the opening night spectacle, a carefully choreographed extravaganza designed to remind us why we love this sport, while simultaneously trying to sell us overpriced beer and insurance. It's a delicate balance, really. Well, folks, the Hollywood strike continues, and it seems like neither side is ready to roll the credits on this industrial action just yet. The writers and actors are holding strong, demanding fair pay and better working conditions, while the studios are, well, they're doing what studios do best, hoarding money and making questionable decisions. Now, I know what you're thinking. How will this affect my ability to mindlessly consume content? And it's a valid concern. But this strike is about more than just delayed productions and postponed premieres. It's about the soul of an industry, about the very people who bring our favorite stories to life. And let's be clear, the studios are not exactly innocent bystanders in this whole debacle. They've been raking in record profits for years, while many writers and actors struggle to make ends meet. It's enough to make you wonder if those studio executives have ever actually seen a movie, or if they just see them as giant piles of cash with legs. Well, folks, it seems Elon Musk has done it again. And by it I mean injected a computer chip into a human brain, which is somehow both less and more surprising than it sounds. Yes, Musk's brain-computer interface company, Neuralink, has officially begun human trials, a move that has some people heralding a new era of technological advancement and others building underground bunkers in anticipation of the robot uprising. Now, to be fair, the potential benefits of Neuralink's technology are undeniable. Imagine a world where paralysis is a thing of the past, where thoughts can be seamlessly translated into text, where you can control your smart home with the power of your mind. It's like something out of a science fiction novel, only it's real and it's happening right now. But of course, with any technological leap forward, there are ethical considerations, and Neuralink is no exception. I mean, we're talking about implanting a device directly into people's brains. That's not exactly like choosing between an iPhone and an Android, is it? There are serious questions about privacy, security, and the potential for abuse that simply cannot be ignored. Well, folks, it seems Texas has taken a page right out of Kevin Costner's Waterworld playbook. I'm talking about the floating barrier of buoys that Texas Governor Greg Abbott deployed on the Rio Grande. It's like a state-sponsored game of the floor is lava, except the floor is an international border. A federal judge recently ordered Texas to remove the barrier. The judge cited concerns about disrupting river navigation and violating treaties with Mexico. There are also serious humanitarian concerns. This whole ordeal has sparked a legal battle, with Texas appealing the judge's order. Well, folks, It seems our robot overlords are one step closer to reality. Artificial intelligence is everywhere these days, from self-driving cars to chatbots that can hold a coherent conversation. The real action is happening in the hallowed halls of Congress. Our elected officials are finally starting to ask some tough questions about AI. AI has the potential to revolutionize everything from healthcare to transportation. Well, folks, that's it for this week's whirlwind tour of the news. We've covered everything from hurricane aftermath and economic woes to robot uprisings and the never-ending saga of Texas's border security theatrics. It's enough to make you want to crawl back into bed and pull the covers over your head, but don't despair, there's always next week when we'll undoubtedly have a whole new set of bizarre and bewildering headlines to dissect. Thanks for tuning in to USA Weekly News Plus. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and comment. Check out our affiliate programs in the description below. See you next week.